Hi, and welcome back to Season 2 of Geno's Picks. Me and Joe are thrilled to have you back, and we can't wait to get into it. And I know what you're saying. Gene, the season doesn't start for 2 more weeks. Yeah, but if you're like us, you can't wait to gamble. So let's get you some picks right away. But first, you know what really grinds my gears? Having to decide. Half the people want to gamble right away, and half of our viewers are like, well, Geno, what are your predictions? Who's going to win the Super Bowl? Who's going to make the playoffs? Let's get right to that then, shall we? My first division, the AFC East. Who's going to win it? The Patriots. You ever heard of a guy named Tom Brady? Well, he's back, and he's healthy, and he's got new weapons in Fred Taylor and Joey Galloway and the returning cast of studs. Maroney's going to be fine. And who's that Wes Welker fella? He's great. With all those weapons, expect Brady to score often. The last Brady to score at will with this men this easily was Mike Brady. You know, Ron Reed of the Brady Bunch. He scored all the time. And you know who's second in that division and winning the wild card? The Dolphins. That's right. Chad Pennington's a stud. I love Sperano's offensive schemes, and I can't wait to see what he does with White and the Wildcat. Oh, this is what everyone always says. Oh, the Finns aren't sneaking up on anyone this year. Yeah, okay, neither was Mike Brady, but he scored early and often just the same. So will the Finns. See him in the postseason. Which brings me to my bet for this division, the Bills. Over-under on them this year is 7.5. They're a bust. Edwards has yet to prove anything to me. You can't spell toe injury and disabled list without T.O. And I'll tell you something, Marshawn Lynch is a talentless punk, and he's going to miss 3 games because of a gun suspension. It's a shame the charges don't bounce off him as easily as people do off his SUV when he drives it drunk. Screw the Bills, they're the under. Oh, and lest we forget our Jets. They're in a learning year. Sanchez just named the starter, but like anyone named Sanchez, he's going to steal a few. But in the end, he's going to wind up lost at sea, only to have some unsung hero of a white guy save him. That's it. Take the Bills and the under. Which brings me to my next pick, the AFC South. No surprises here. Titans are going to run away with it. They have Jeff Fisher, the best coach in football. Look what he can do with talent. Kerry Collins is a stud. Justin Gage is a great wide receiver. Vince Young is still alive. How is he not eating the end of a gun barrel like the quarterback before him there? Too soon? Wait till you see what's coming. The next team, the Colts. I like them to win the wild card. Peyton Manning is just a great leader on the field, and the handoff of leadership from Calhoun to Dungy was pretty much about as shaky as Michael J. Fox on a mechanical bull. Love that. But I still think they're going to be a force in that division. I think they take the wild card. I don't care about the Texans. They never achieve what they're supposed to. Schaub doesn't impress me, and I don't think Slayton should be a top 5 running back in your fantasy draft. Which brings me to my pick. The Jacksonville Jaguars, dead last. I said it. Not impressed with David Garrard. I'm not. And I'll tell you, Maurice Jones-Drew, I don't like the fact that he's the featured back with no one else. He needs a Fred Taylor for a change of pace back. Not having Fred Taylor is like a porn star without a fluffer. You're going to blow your load way early and have nothing left for the second half. But on a positive note, no one's really watching you in that half after you blow your load. The Jags, over under 8 wins, take the under. Which brings me to my next pick, the AFC North. I like the Steelers to win this division. Not by a lot, but I like them. They get the edge because they have Mike Tomlin, who's a head coach, and there was some shakeup in the Ravens coaching. We'll get to them in a sec. But I love the Steelers. Roethlisberger does nothing but score on the field and in hotel rooms with women who cry rape. Quitter. He also has a great supporting cast. Look at Mewelde Moore and Rashard Mendenhall coming back. Look at Hines Ward and Santonio Holmes, who always comes on great at the end of the year. Love the Steelers to win that division. Which brings me to the Ravens. I like the Ravens. You know what? Screw the Dolphins. I like the Ravens to be the second wild card. They take a step forward. Joe Flacco, UD, Blue Hens, go, is in his second year under the offensive guru that is Cam Cameron. I love that. But they take a step back. They lose Ryan to the Jets, so that's going to hurt their defense. You know what I think would help this team? The Tennessee Titans are wearing the number 9 on the back of their helmet in support of their fallen star, Steve McNair. And McNair also played for the Ravens, so I think it would be great if they put a number 9 on the back of their helmet as well. Not so much for a show of team support, but with the 9 on the back of 2 helmets, then there would be 1 for each exit wound. Oh, yeah, Cincy and Cleveland are still in this division. I have no idea how. The Ravens over-under is 8.5. Take the over. Which brings me to my last pick, the AFC West. Yes, you know I'm going to pick, but you know I'm right. The San Diego Chargers. I think they're going to not so much run away with this division as the rest of the division is going to run away from them, okay? The Denver Broncos, Kansas City Chiefs, and Oakland Raiders are awful. We'll get to them in a sec. The Chargers, here's a big factor. Ray Rivera is coaching the defense all season, and he has a healthy Sean Merriman, and he has Larry English, who's going to be a stud, and he has Sean Phillips, and don't be surprised to see them on the field all at the same time, creating terrible mismatches with the opposing offenses. Speaking of offensive, Rivers, Sproles, Tomlinson, Vince Jackson, Antonio Gates, Malcolm Floyd, remember that name, no reason not to do great. Over-under on them is 11.5. I'm not touching it. They don't need to win that many. Let's get to the Denver Broncos. They are a team going the wrong direction. Oh, they lost Jay Cutler. Don't blame McDaniel for that. Cutler's a head case, and that'll affect him in Chicago, which we'll talk about next week. But Jay Cutler, while in Denver, had the gall to say, I have a better arm than John Elway. That's like walking through Jerusalem saying, I have better sandals than Jesus. You just don't do it. You create problems. You're in your head. You're not on the field. Cutler's toast. Denver isn't good. Orton's a disaster. KC, don't be surprised when Castle isn't used to running out from a pocket instead of having it under him. LJ is a joke. And the Raiders? Here's a little twist. Yes, we can, Barack Obama, because a black man is about to lose his job to a guy named Garcia. Over under, Denver, 7.5. Take the under and run like you stole something. So there you have it, my AFC predictions. The Patriots will take the East, the Steelers will take the North, the Titans will take the South, and the Bolts, my beloved Bolts, will take the West. Wild cards will be the Ravens and the Colts. Your championship game will be, in a rematch of 2 years ago, the Patriots and the Chargers. And believe it or not, and I say this with all conviction, look for the Chargers in the Super Bowl this year. We're back next week with Geno's NFC Picks.